Hello everyone, it's CDA94581 here, but you can call me CDA. Today, we are back with another DIY Minecraft tutorial. We will be working with resource packs today. Specifically, modifying the geometry of entities, which will change the shape of your mobs. On screen right now is a list of timestamps you can use to jump around. So, before we can begin our tutorial, we have a few creator guidelines that you should follow when making this pack. Head over to this link to read up a bit. We are going to just run through a few of the important things that you should know for the purposes of entity models. If you don't understand anything, in my opinion, the best way to learn is to try and do. You'll understand more as you make more. Since I've already covered this in a previous video, I recommend you go and watch the creator guidelines portion of that, since I don't want to waste your time talking about the same things again. So the only new thing I need to tell you about is this. Find the right balance between detail and performance. Again, we as creators need to keep our packs optimized for all users, so following these guidelines will help with that. Alright, again, since I don't want to waste your time, refer back to my previous tutorial's important info section for the details, since I'm just going to speed through things you'll need, which are, a text editor, some way to clean up json, the vanilla resource pack, file name extensions and hidden items checked. Alright, let's start. Again, like in the former tutorial, navigate to the com.mojang folder. And again, the development_resource_packs folder. Also again, create a folder for your pack and copy over the manifest.json file from the vanilla resource pack. Make the modifications to the manifest and generate the new UUIDs for the pack. Make a pack_icon.png file if you want, you'll need a photo editor then. Finally, test to make sure the pack works. Done. Good, let's start making entity models. Inside your pack folder, create a folder called Models. Create another folder inside it called Entity. Now head over to your vanilla resource pack folder, go to Models, then Entity, and copy over the model.json file for your chosen entity. We will just be giving a creeper 3 heads, for sake of simplicity. Now open it with the text editor of your choice. I will now give a brief overview of how each model is structured. Every model will have a format, version and geometry name. Do not change either of these, unless you know what you're doing. It makes many other files inside of the behavior pack work incorrectly. Each entity has a series of bones. These are rotated and move around in an animation, like walking. Each bone has a name. Do not change this value, as this may break many animations. This should give you a good idea what each bone forms. The parent of a bone is basically what it is connected to. I would not recommend messing with this unless you know what you are doing. The pivot is the point where the bone will rotate upon. When you start changing models, if an animation looks off or something, consider messing around with this. The first number in the array is left and right, the second is up and down, and the third is back and forth. 0, 0, 0 will mean the center of the entity, on the bottom. Every bone can also have a varying number of cubes. All the cubes inside a bone array will move in the same way when an animation tells it to do so. Inside each cube, we have 3 values: origin, size, and UV. The origin is where the cube will begin. For instance, in the head of the creeper, the cube starts 4 pixels to the left, 18 pixels up, and 4 pixels back. The size of the cube specifies how big the cube will be, in pixels. For example, in the head of the creeper, it will be 8 pixels long, 8 pixels tall, and 8 pixels wide, relative to the origin. The UV is the location on the texture file in which the texture starts. 0, 0 is 0 pixels from the left, and 0 pixels from the top, or the topmost pixel. The inflate of a texture is the number of pixels it will expand out in each direction. This can be useful at times. If you want a bit more information, check out the pinned comments of my resource pack video. Now, let's actually start changing the entity models. Again, for sake of simplicity, I'll just make a creeper have 3 heads. So, what we need to do, is make 3 head cubes, and position them in a way so they all appear, by changing the origin. So starting from the left bracket, highlight to the right bracket of the head's bone, and copy that. Place a comma next to the right bracket, and paste what you copied. Then after that right bracket, place another comma, and finally, paste it again. We have now just added 3 cubes to the bone. However, since they all have the same origin, you won't see any difference. What we now need to do is change the origin a bit. Go back to the first cube, and let's move that to the left by 4 pixels, by changing the first value in the origin from -4 to -8. We can move the second cube's origin to the right by 4 pixels by changing the first value in its origin from -4 to 0, so in total we just gave ourselves an extra 8 pixels. Finally, for our final cube, let's move it up 8 pixels to rest on top of the 3. Do this by changing the second value in its origin from 18 to 26. Some entities may have multiple models, like the creeper, so you may want to modify that as well. Now let's load up the pack and see if it works. As you can see, the creeper now has 3 heads. Congratulations! Now, feel free to modify any other entity, just make sure to continue following the creator guidelines. I have 2 things I'd like to say before I wrap up this video. First off, if there is anything you don't understand, in my opinion, the best way to figure it out is by trying. Go copy guides, download packs, anything, and find out how they work. Secondly, if you'd rather not try to visualize this all by yourself, you can also get a modeling software. I occasionally use Blockbench, which is optimized for Minecraft. Just download, open it as a bedrock model, and start modeling. You can even start by importing a model first, then editing it. I'll put a link down in the description for you to check out. And that is all I have for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If I have anything that I need to update, check the pinned comments. I will update that when I am able to. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.